for the Susan Taylor Podcast, where we discuss the yoga of mind, medicine, and healing. Author of Feeling Good Matters, Sexual Radiance, and the Vital Energy Program, Dr. Taylor imparts authentic knowledge and practical tools that inspire, educate, and empower us to be a healing force for positive change. So join us and take your life and our planet to the next level.
Hello, and welcome to episode 38, The Healing Power of Meditation. Thanks to Shelley, we got our topic for this week. Shelley is one of our students in the training program. And again, thank you for offering a suggestion using the healing power of meditation. In meditation, the art of attending to, and in the case of healing, will be attending to the mind field that leads to the core of our being, where healing is actually spontaneous. When the mind is calm and aware, and when that awareness is focused, then our mind is likened to a laser beam, and it's very powerful and can ignite the healing force. In today's podcast, I'd like to discuss meditation as a tool for healing. Although there are different approaches to understanding these profound cases of healing that we hear about in recovery, there's been much cooperation among the scholars in comparative religions, sciences, and even health over the years. In fact, investigations into the connection between spirituality and health started around 1995, and there was significant overlap with these different approaches, and that significant overlap has been meditation. There's a strong and growing body of evidence showing that the benefits of meditation practices on the science of healing can be applied to any religious belief system. Keep in mind that meditation is not associated with any specific religion, even though some have come out and had said that it's come from certain groups or religious beliefs, but that's not true. Meditation is secular, and all religions have been known to use some form of meditation. So I just would like you to keep that in mind. When we hear the word to heal or healing, it's most often associated with being ill and having to go to some external resource to recover. And although going externally is more often the case, we can also utilize external medical procedures, but in unison with internal practices, taking our healing under our own responsibility, and that can help to promote our mechanisms of self-healing. And meditation or doing any kind of relaxation is one of those tools that we can use, because ultimately we are responsible for the healing of our organism. Many times we hear of people having a change or something termed as a miraculous cure, and when we hear the miraculous stories of people's healing successes, most often we hear that there's some form of meditation that had played a significant role in the process. You've heard me say before, to heal literally means to make whole and is derived from the same root as being holy. In fact, in the Feeling Good Matters book, and even in our trainings that we do with healing, the healing force, we talk about that. The root of these words really has some significance in what they're all about. The healing force is present within us and around us, and therefore we're alive. And if we turn to science, namely physics, we find that force is defined as physical power or strength that a living organism possesses, strength or power exerted upon an object, or strength, energy, power, and intensity. So that healing force within us is already there. And it works, but it's not working at 100% unless we've actually brought it out of its being dormant and we wanted to wake it up. And meditation and its practices can be one tool to do that. So what does it mean to be healthy? Well, to be healthy is to attain a state of health. One has to remain mentally calm, steady, and emotionally stable. Swasthya means health. It also means being in oneself. Swasthya, or health, is not confined to the body and the mind, but it's also connected to the consciousness. The clearer the consciousness is, the more well-being is gained. When we attend to our mind through meditation in a systematic way, then we can clear our consciousness. If it happens to be clouded by something maybe that's not too useful for us. That happens quite often when we're involved, especially in our self-thinking too much, or if we're in an environment where people are gossiping or talking negatively about a certain condition. I'll talk about that in a minute. How does meditation work with relation to healing? Well, I'm just going to give you some ideas that I had come up with. First of all, in the process of healing, meditation can help people enhance the tolerance of negative emotions that may come up from unpleasant physical symptoms. This is achieved through the awareness component of meditation. Remember, awareness is one component, focus is another component. Together, they make a complete practice. Additionally, when the breath becomes smooth and without pause in meditation, and that's what needs to be in the training when you're taking a meditation class, make sure you learn the proper usage of your breathing. It regulates the nervous system and creates movement in the healing channels. Very, very beneficial. If there's one thing I tell people to take away from their meditation, just learn how to breathe systematically, smooth, with pause, no jerks, no sounds, no pauses, and you'd be set. Because you're actually linking the pranic field to the breath itself. And that takes some time to practice, but with that in mind, that's how the healing takes place. Several scientific studies also suggested that meditation could significantly change the brain structure. We talked about that with neuroplasticity and function, and it improves emotional well-being and overall quality of life. These findings point to the power of non-judgmental awareness as well as focus, and as a method to reduce the symptoms of illness. That could happen. We actually want to reduce the likelihood of illness and improve our immunity. And what happens is we do get structural brain changes with that. And that work is found in the literature where meditation, the problem is, as we've known before, a lot of the literature doesn't have a systematic meditation training. Each publication has a different protocol, so it's very difficult to draw clear-cut conclusions with an efficacy to these kinds of statements. So we know that meditation is beneficial and the potency of mindfulness is evidently important for healing. But how does meditation truly encourage our self-healing? Well, I've heard it said before that the root of an illness is in the mind or the consciousness. If you think of your spine as an energy magnet, I had read this somewhere recently. If you think of your spine as an energy magnet, what happens is the magnetism of that brings the cellular structure together, and that's how we form our bodies. Makes total sense. So if we look at that and we learn to train our mind, think of our mind as that magnet, or awareness as the magnet, wherever we put that awareness, that light being, that light of awareness, wherever we place that, it's going to be like a magnet drawing energy into whatever we're housing, and namely in our body. So by attending to the mind and the awareness of that, clearing it of any disturbance, what we find is recovery can actually speed up. And that's the purpose of meditation. We're able to go into that deep space of total awareness, and we're able to see where we're bringing in anything that may not be useful for our own healing mechanisms, things that may be clouding the channels. And once we're aware of that, we can use our focus and speed, just clear it out, and healing will come very quickly. By practicing meditation, the stresses, worries, anxieties drop off and gives rise to a positive state of mind, which actually has a positive impact on the physical body, brain, nervous system, and then our illnesses change. Remember, wellness is we, illness is I. Illness is something that we identify with. Health and illness are part of our physical nature. It's a natural occurrence of being in a physical body. You should not worry too much about it. When you worry about illness, you're giving it more power. You're giving that illness power. You are a combination of health and illness. When you keep that in mind and have a positive state of mind, then illness changes and it no longer becomes illness. We can heal the mind through meditation because meditation trains the mind to perceive life differently, and with this in mind, prevents stresses from taking over the organism meaning any life form. Since the mind and body are one, when we have stresslessness, then the body doesn't shut down its energy pathways. In science, it's said that we're able to deal with things from the top down rather than the bottom up. We're talking about the brain here when we talk about stress. When we're stressed, we work from the limbic system up, and when we're meditating and we're clear, we're from the top down, frontal cortex down, which means instead of having a reactive mind, we're able to have one that responds to a situation. The practice of meditation brings a relaxation to the brain. It cools it down. It's like serving the whole body-mind complex. When we look at creating positive emotions with meditation, I'd like to say, first of all, with the process of healing, meditation can help people by enhancing their tolerance of negative emotions, as I mentioned, from unpleasant physical symptoms, and it's achieved through the awareness component of meditation. On the other side of the coin, dealing with your external environment, people that you associate with, any people that you associate with, just because you're not negative doesn't mean that you're not encountering negativity, and this can be absorbed into the mind field. Did you ever think that when you're happy and joyful that you're actually filling your environment with positive vibrations? And when you're angry or jealous or anything negative, that you're filling the environment with emotional pollution? How much emotional pollution have we created individually, and how much are we picking up from others? Very important to really think about this when we open our mouth or choose our thoughts. The words that you hear from people around you can actually certainly affect your state of mind, and many times certainly do. They either give you a peace and joy or can create a disturbance such as jealousy, anger, frustration, or even sadness. You're affected because the mind is not itself. It's not all by it's a universal mind we're talking about here. And if it's not centered, meditation could be a key to help you to center the mind and keep yourself in a place where you're not affected by emotional pollution. And lastly, I'd like to just talk about spiritual transformation, because spiritual transformation is our ultimate purpose here on the earth. It's really not about whoever has the most toys wins. Remember when people used to say that as a joke? It's really about spiritual transformation, and that's our ultimate purpose. How can we serve others and remain above what's really going on in the world? Meditation can bring about spiritual transformation, there's no doubt. As you learn more about life, the mystery of the whole creation does begin to unfold. Then the questions that arise in the mind are, what is the meaning of life? What is my purpose? What is the purpose of life? What is this world? What is love all about? And what is knowledge? And once these questions arise in you, then you become a very fortunate person. That's what really drives you in life day to day. And it's a blessing, actually. These questions need to be understood, and you can't find the answers in books, that's for sure. You have to live through them and witness that transformation. That's being in perfect health. That's being well, actually. That's having wellness. Health is not necessarily totally the same as being well. You are transformed from within once you get to that point. And the diamond within you, it's polishing that diamond in the rough, because that diamond is within you. And it becomes so polished that you become brilliant and you shine. Now you can rest, everyone, reassuring, knowing that your first line of defense and recovery is already within you. As it said, you already have the precious mixture within yourself to heal. You just need to use it. And meditation is a tool that can help you use it no matter what other processes that you're using in the meantime. So until next time, I'd like to say remain calm, consciously aware, living in the moment. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. And if you'd like to be notified weekly for new podcasts, please subscribe. The Susan Taylor Podcast is available on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and TuneIn, and also on susantaylor.org, where you can click on the podcast to subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or even suggestions like we had for this week, please contact us at susantaylor.org. We review them, and then I create a podcast concerning them. So thank you for listening, and until next time, as I mentioned before, remain calm, consciously aware, living in the moment. Thanks again, and see you next week.